Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video of the ECM GWV 30-day / 6 weeks look ahead for the UK and for the rest of Europe as well. So this is the extended European outlook for Europe on this Tuesday. As always, I shall get on with that for you in a second. Just to say about the first video, well, 6 AM upload. We've got 10 to 14 there, but we include all of the regular features coming up for you later on this afternoon. So please like, share, subscribe on those videos. And we thank you so very much, everyone. But then thank you so much to ECM.int for supplying the charts as well, by the way. Right, so you're going to start off with the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly taking us from the 24th of October to the 31st. The coming week, or this week, we'll have low pressure out in the Atlantic to west of the UK and Ireland, with high pressure ridging through much of Europe. What this will do is it will draw up very mild or warm air from the south and from the southwest, up the western side of Europe. This trough of low pressure here, extreme north west of Russia, northeast of Europe, that will try and bring some colder air in from the north, but most places are dominated by this warm ridge. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that, above average heights again through much of the country. I'm so sorry everyone, with low pressure below average heights out to the west again. The wind is drawing up from a southerly direction. So check out these temperature anomalies. Wow. Very, very, very mild or warm week to come across all parts of Europe, right away from the far west, Ireland and Portugal, all the way over to the west of Russia. Looking really, really mild this week, and especially so through Spain, France, and into Germany, possibly the Low Countries, when on their scale we're around 6 to 10 degrees above average in that deep red shading. So a very, very mild, if not warm week to come. It does look a little bit cooler, excuse me, again, in this far southeastern corner of the Mediterranean, perhaps. But, I mean, we're clutching at straws here to try and find some cooler weather across Europe. Most places look very mild. The Med looking really mild as well, if not warm. Temperatures probably into the mid-20s there. So, you know, very, very nice if you want some late sort of summer, autumn sunshine. Precipitation looks like that. Most areas are dry as well in this area of high pressure. Again, the Med looking very dry there, right away from Spain all the way over towards Greece and Turkey. So, definitely, if you want Mediterranean holiday, you know, get some late sunshine. You got the money, get on a plane and take yourself off, you know, because that's about as good as it's going to get this time of the year. Further northwards, it's pretty dry too. It's a little bit wetter in the extreme northeast of Europe and into the northwest of Russia. That's why we've got that trough of low pressure. That might just bring a little bit of winteriness to extreme north and northeast of Scandinavia. But most places are looking relatively dry. It's a bit wetter there, perhaps towards the Black Sea and Ukraine, and quite wet for Ireland. Possibly some of that gets into the western side of the UK. But really, most areas looking dry at about area of high pressure. Right, week 2 is going to be the 31st of October to 7th of November. So high pressure still dominating across much of Europe. And still in a position to be drawing in mild or warm air from the southwest. It looks like it's a bit more unsettled out to the far northwest of that area of low pressure, possibly bringing more in way of unsettled conditions to the extreme northwest of Europe. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. So we've got the below average heights there in the North Atlantic. Looks like they would be turning, you know, Ireland, UK, possibly Norway, a little bit more unsettled. But most areas are still being dominated by that large area of high pressure, the above average heights. So most areas still looking relatively dry and mild. I would have thought winter is going to be with this trough of low pressure just here, by the way, into the west of Russia there. Perhaps the temperature anomaly looks like that. So again, most areas are looking very mild. It is a little bit cooler in this extreme east and southeastern part of Europe as we go through the first week of November. So Greece and Turkey turn a little bit colder, as perhaps some of the Middle East does. as well, and all of that's being drawn in, you know, from cold air that's pushing into the southwest of Russia. They are the exceptions. Most areas are looking mild though. So again, all the way from Portugal and Ireland in the far west, right way over to the northwest of Russia, and all points in between looking very mild. Scandinavia in those red colours, as are the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia and Lithuania too. We come further southwards towards Poland, Germany, the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, France, again looking really mild, and into the Med too, significantly above average temperatures by about 3 to 6 degrees. Another really mild week for the first week of November. Precipitation wise, most areas are dry, but note it is getting a little bit wetter in the far northwest, so I reckon that's turning more unsettled for the UK and for Ireland, possibly for Scandinavia, certainly for Norway, possibly for other parts of Scandinavia. Those are the exceptions though. Most places are looking dry. The Med, again, looking dry, so another mainly dry and warm or very warm week to come down in the Med. Most parts of Central and Eastern Europe looking drier than average as well. What's going to happen when we get into week 3? Let's have a look at the 7th, 14th of November. So then the high pressure goes towards eastern parts of Europe. Plenty of high pressure into the east. Low pressure is moving into west, so it looks like turn more unsettled as November goes on in the north and the west of Europe, really, doesn't it? Let's have a look at the 500 millibar heights, see how they're looking. So a trough of low pressure is setting up across western Europe now, so definitely more unsettled there. Above average heights slipping further and further eastwards, would be taking the warmth further eastwards as well. And actually, with this trough of low pressure, we might be starting to turn things a bit cooler in the north and west of Europe if that low pressure is beginning to dig a bit further southwards. But temperature anomaly shows the warm and average temperatures spreading eastwards. Note we're going back close to average or with no signal for the UK and Ireland, possibly to Portugal as well. So a little bit of a cool down might be starting to take place in the extreme west, northwest. Most places, however, are still looking warm and average, especially so to the northwest of Russia and near those Baltic Sea states. So another very mild winter covering in most places, a little bit on the cooler side for that far eastern part of the Mediterranean, but the central bowl of the Med still looking mainly dry through there. And precipitation for week 3 looking like that. Definitely more unsettled into the north and west of Europe, isn't it? So wetter from Scandinavia down into the Low Countries, possibly into western Germany, certainly into France, UK and Ireland. That swathe looks a lot more unsettled. Driest weather looks like it's in the east and the southeast of Europe, close to that area of high pressure. So with time as we go through November, low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, bringing more unsettled weather into the northwest Europe, sending that high pressure further eastwards with its warm, dry weather. Week 4 will be the 14th to the 21st of November. High pressure then returns to the west of Europe, so that means a lot of dry weather with it. That looks like it's extending in towards the Mediterranean as well. Signals are weakening though. 500 millibar height anomaly showing an area of above average heights across much of western and also central Europe as well. Could there be a trough of low through there? Possibly that bring cold weather into the north and the northeast of Europe. A temperature anomaly looks like that. Just generally very mild, really. Again, in most areas, all the way from the west, right way over towards the east. And the precipitation anomaly for week 4 looks like that. So turning drier across the western side of Europe, quite unsettled through Scandinavia and into the northeast. Right, that is your 30-day forecast done. But let's have a look at weeks 5 and 6 data before we go. So this would be week 5, mean sea pressure anomaly for Europe and the North Atlantic from the 21st to the 28th of November. So high pressure beginning to pull further out to the west. Could we start seeing a trough of low pressure Scandinavia and colder air coming in from the north into the northwest of Europe. Let's have a look at 500 millibar heights. Definite signs of the high pressure pulling out into the middle of the Atlantic. It's a bit of a trough of low pressure around there. Could we start pulling in wind from the north through the western side of Europe? Temperature anomalies look like that. Still generally above average in most areas, but going more towards no signal through that area. Actually, it's a bit cooler than average through there. However, most places still looking relatively mild on the model forecast. And precipitation-wise, still relatively dry across these western, southwest parts of Europe, most unsettled in the far north and northeast. And then lastly, week 6 will be the 28th of November, 5th of December. That's how it looks. Oh, wow. No signal. So let's just put in a question mark. If this was on a Saturday morning or a Friday evening, I'd be singing Marvin, but I'm going to stay sensible for this one, and I won't be singing Marvin. But it does look a bit mysterious. The 500 millibar height anomaly shows some above average heights towards Greenland, but also around France and Spain as well. So very, very mysterious there. The temperature anomaly still just largely above average in most areas. And finally, the precipitation anomaly for week 6 looks like that. So a little bit on the wet side for the northern parts of Europe, but it is a very weak signal. Right, I think that's a relatively clear-cut trend for much of November, though. So it's starting off relatively dry and warm through the early part of November in most parts of Europe. Turns more unsettled initially in the north and the west as that warmer, drier, high-pressure dominated weather gets shunted further eastwards. And then by the last stages of November and into early December, it all starts getting a little bit more mysterious. Well, that's it for your extended EC 30-day forecast for this week. We'll do it all over again next Tuesday. We're going to be back later on with a 10 to 14 day, including all of the regular features. Make sure you check that one out. But for this week's EC Extended for Europe, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.